The vast North Atlantic Ocean was deceptively calm, appearing eerily quiet on this seemingly ordinary day.
On the flight deck of the USS Gerald R. Sailors carried out their daily routines as usual.
Suddenly, deep beneath the waves, the ship's advanced radar systems picked up a series of strange, unidentified signals.
Tiny, illuminated blips appeared on the sonar screen, moving with clear and deliberate purpose, not random drift.
The contacts suddenly split into three separate directions, accelerating rapidly before vanishing completely from the tracking display.
An immediate, tense silence filled the Combat Information Center. No one spoke, but every operator knew this.
This was not a natural signal or a biological anomaly. Something artificial was hidden, watching them.
It was deep, it was aware, and it was possibly closing in on the American Carrier Strike Group.
For over 4 decades, these specific waters have served as the vital lifeline connecting America and Europe. They are the ultimate symbol of Western unity and strength, a strategic corridor protected by NATO forces.
But now, an old adversary was testing the U.S. Navy in a new way nobody had expected.
What made the Russian Federation dare to enter these crucial American-patrolled waters with such aggressive intent?
What exactly were they searching for beneath the vast and unforgiving surface of the deep Atlantic Ocean?
And what really happened when these hidden forces finally came face to face with the United States Navy?
We are going to find out right now as we dive deep into this high-stakes naval encounter.
The North Atlantic theater had been unusually calm for months, a mirror of blue hiding deep unease beneath.
But during a routine patrol, the USS Gerald R. Ford and its strike group detected strange underwater echoes. Inside the CIC, operators leaned closer to their sonar screens, analyzing the faint but distinct contacts. The faint signals rapidly grew stronger. They were measured, rhythmic, and unlike anything from friendly Allied fleets.
What began as a completely quiet watch instantly shifted into a highly tense and dangerous undersea hunt.
The illusion of maritime peace vanished in an instant. Multiple hostile tracks appeared across the radar displays.
Each track was moving with tactical precision, suggesting Russian submarines were operating closer to NATO routes.
This was clearly not an accident or a training drill. This was an intentional and aggressive message.
The atmosphere on board the carrier tightened as analysts confirmed the contact patterns matched specific vessels.
They matched advanced Russian attack submarines, vessels capable of shadowing entire carrier groups while remaining undetected.
The confrontation unfolding below the surface marked one of the most serious underwater standoffs in recent memory.
For many decades, the North Atlantic has been the vital economic artery connecting the United States and Europe.
This is the main route that carries energy, commercial trade, and military power across the entire ocean.
History has proven that whoever dominates these crucial waters controls both global commerce and regional security.
That is precisely why each sonar ping matters. Every time a hostile submarine crosses NATO's path,
It represents a strategic test, a measure of whether the alliance is still alert and capable.
Or if the alliance has become too distracted by other global events to respond effectively.
In Washington, defense analysts began noticing a very troubling pattern developing throughout the year 2025.
These provocations had increased sharply, coinciding with a period of shifting global defense priorities and policies.
The consequences of this perceived shift came swiftly. Russian naval patrols moved deeper into NATO's sphere.
Simultaneously, spy ships entered Pacific approaches, and cyber interference with undersea fiber optic cables reached record levels. Each individual act chipped away at the global perception of U.S. control over the world's strategic waterways.
Inside the Pentagon, senior officers warned that without clear and decisive action, deterrence was eroding at its core.
What made this latest Atlantic incident so alarming was its incredible precision and its specific, calculated timing.
Russian submarines synchronized their routes with satellite passes and bursts of electronic interference against NATO communications.
This was not a random provocation. It was a coordinated intelligence operation designed to map Western defenses.
This encounter was far more than a tactical maneuver. It was a symbolic strike against Western confidence itself.
As one senior officer later put it, they were not testing our sensors, they were testing our will.
As the radar signatures sharpened, Washington policymakers realized Moscow was no longer just experimenting with boundaries.
They were executing a live intelligence mission directly beneath NATO's most sensitive and heavily guarded waters. From its icy northern fleet headquarters near Murmansk, Moscow issued an extremely daring and provocative command.
3 advanced nuclear submarines were ordered to approach the USS Gerald R. strike group undetected.
Their primary mission was to gather highly sensitive tactical intelligence. This was not a routine patrol.
It was a calculated, high-stakes mission meant to test NATO's awareness and probe America's current national resolve. Each of the 3 submarines was specific
of the U.S. carrier and its escorts. The second submarine would scan for low-frequency radar echoes.
The third would trace propeller vibrations, allowing analysts to study the carrier group's maneuvering patterns.
These data points, known as signatures, are critical for developing new anti-detection and counter-torpedo systems.
In Russian military planning, such intelligence data could mean the difference between survival and total destruction.
To the Kremlin, this mission symbolized open defiance. It was about proving Russia could still operate deep beneath NATO's surveillance web, even as international sanctions were impacting its domestic economy.
Russian state media proudly declared the operation a strategic test of the balance of power at sea.
They framed it as a demonstration of national resilience, rather than a dangerous military provocation.
But behind the domestic propaganda, the real strategic intent was clear: to remind Washington, D.C.
that the North Atlantic was, in their view, still contested ground and not exclusively NATO territory. The chosen battleground, however, was anything but undefended by the Western Alliance's advanced surveillance systems.
This is the GI-UK gap, stretching from Greenland to Iceland to the United Kingdom.